I used to pride myself on being a lone wolf. I used to be very proud of the fact that I headed the opposite direction of everybody else. I was very proud that my marketing was different. My methods in business were different. I was very, very proud that I would always head the opposite direction of the 99%. I would always diverge. I would always take the road less traveled. These were the things that I always wore with a badge of honor. And I considered it all part of it being wrapped up as a lone wolf in business, a lone wolf in life. But here's the thing that I didn't realize when I was a younger man, an entrepreneur, is to really achieve what you want to achieve in your life. For me, that's building a championship badass world where I live life and do business on my own terms. When I was a lone wolf, where I was doing everything myself, I could learn it myself. I would discover that. I would make my own mistakes. I would fall down 11 times, get up 12. This kind of thinking, right? I'll do it my way. I was sacrificing decades of time in getting where I wanted to go. The other problem with being a lone wolf, and I learned this about 19 years ago, is a lone wolf is the loneliest existence on earth. You may pride yourself as being an outcast or unique or an outlier, maybe a maverick or a renegade, maybe even a badass. But the lone wolf lifestyle is loneliness island. It's like you're on an island, you're an entrepreneur and you're on an island. And entrepreneurship, it's been said by many mentors, is the loneliest profession in the world. And you know that to be fact. There's nothing as exciting, there's nothing as rewarding, there's no greater life, there's no greater service than being an entrepreneur. Being a builder, a business owner, a creator, a person who hires people, who makes things, who improves society and the world. There's nothing greater. But it's also the loneliest job in the world. The dark side of entrepreneurship is that it is a lonely, lonely journey if you don't connect with other elite entrepreneurs. And really, that's what my badass brotherhood is all about. That's what my videos are about. That's what my monthly newsletter is about. That's what my masterminds are about. They're all brotherhoods. My business and my life transformed for the better 19 years ago when I stopped trying to be the do-it-all myself lone wolf. I don't need anybody's help. I don't need any friends. I don't need any mentors. I don't need any coaches. I don't need to read that newsletter. I don't need a mastermind. I can do this all myself. And man, maybe you can or maybe you can't, but you'll run out a runway before you'll get where you want to go because you're not standing on the shoulders of giants. Tony Robbins talks about standing on the shoulders of giants. And what he means by that is learning from the elite people that came before you. Do you know all the legends in your niche? Do you really know, have you studied all the legends in your niche? If you're a copywriter, do you know all the legends in your niche? Do you know the Capels, the Carltons? Do you know the Halberts? Do you know all the copywriting legends? Do you know their history? Have you studied their books? Do you know? Same thing in marketing. There's legends in every single industry. And Robbins talks about using their expertise and standing on their shoulders, reading their books, subscribing to their newsletters, learning from their mistakes and failures so that you can stand on the shoulders of greats. I mean, like the world stands on the shoulders of Steve Jobs' work. You know, like if he hadn't dedicated his life to transforming how we do things through his company Apple, everything from earlier iPods to iPads to iPhones, whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, servant or slave, he's transformed how we work, how we live. So every industry you can stand on the shoulders of giants. And I started doing that 19 years ago, and that changed my trajectory completely like this. From, you know, a little bit better, just straight up. And that's how I went from making $30,000 a year. You can't live on $30,000 even back then. I was broke in that one-bedroom apartment, leasing a vehicle. I couldn't pay my credit card bill. Man, it's hard to be happy. It's hard to be an elite person. It's hard to serve other people when you're financially broke. It wears on you. It makes you old. It makes you unhappy. So when I started standing on the shoulders of giants and investing in myself, magazines, newsletters, you know, audio tapes at the time, CDs, DVDs, and then Masterminds, everything changed for me. I just went like this to the moon. I went from 30 grand a year to 40,000, 50,000, then a big jump to 120,000 a year. I thought that was all the money in the world. I couldn't believe that I was making $120,000 a year. And then I got to 440,000 the next year. That's the power of not being a lone wolf. That's the power of standing on the shoulders of giants. And I wasn't on an island anymore. I wasn't alone, and I've never, in my entire life, I've never been lonely, but I feel alone, if that makes sense. I'm not a lonely person. I'm a introvert. I can be with myself. I'm comfortable with myself. I enjoy my solitude. If Krista and Emery go away for a day or two, it's an opportunity for me to actually recharge a little bit privately. I read books, I write, I do some personal stuff, I train, I walk. I'm not afraid to be by myself like most people. I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid of solitude. I like the man in the mirror. I'm at peace with the man in the glass. So I don't need to be constantly distracted. I don't need to be constantly, you know, on a phone. I'm okay with the man in the glass. So I'm not lonely, but I felt alone as an entrepreneur. I had a couple of friends in the local area, but other than that, you don't have anything in common with anybody else in your area. If you have one person around you or two people that's a top 1%er, maybe it's your queen, maybe it's your business partner, you're the luckiest man on earth. I had my dad before Krista, and that was it. And then I met Tom Burns, my friend, who is the King of Diamonds jewelry store owner. And then I had Tom. He's an entrepreneur. So we would go to Florida together. We would go to basketball games together, and we'd always talk business, always talk marketing. and Tom's in one of my world builder masterminds now. But those guys are as rare as hen's teeth. So I've basically had my dad, I've had my secret weapon wife Krista, and I've had Tom locally, and now I have Mark Andre as my business partner. But again, that's rare. That's rare. So if you feel like you're the loneliest guy, if you feel alone during this journey, that's normal. That's normal. Who the hell are you going to share your ideas with? You're going to have people saying, you can't run a company. You can't start a business. You can't do that. What do you know about marketing? What do you know about writing? What do you know about shooting videos? What do you know about this? Nobody's going to give you money. That's the kind of stuff you're going to hear from the 99%. So I argue that you actually have to protect yourself from that, not actually embrace more of it. So this is the dark side of the fact that we have to repel, we have to curate, we have to swift sword 99% of the toxic people out of our lives. But then who are we left with? Well, that's where the opportunity to stand on the shoulders of giants comes in. That's where the massive inputs can make your trajectory right to the moon. So I subscribe to 11 different newsletters, business and marketing monthly news, 11. And I have for the last almost 2 decades, you know, and not just marketing, like Matt Fury's newsletters, you just name them. Doberman Dan's newsletters, I just go all through it. Just 11 of them that come in my physical mailbox. I get out my pens and paper and I sit down and I study. That's why the first of the month is my favorite time of the year, because these will start trickling in as I shoot this. Good morning. We're in the first week of April, and I'm just like, I've got a stack of these 11 newsletters to study. I don't read them, I study them. I study Matt Fury's 3 newsletters. I study Pete Lillo's newsletters. I study Doberman Dan's newsletter. I study Ben Settle's newsletter. And it's standing on the shoulders of giants, men that have done it before. They've done it longer and they've done it better. But if you don't have these influences in your world, and if you're a lone wolf like I used to be, you're just going to end up frustrated, angry, and you're going to end up quiet quitting. That's the word I have for it when you don't invest in yourself. Quiet quitting. Most men that discover my book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and Life, you can get a copy at nobullbook.com. It's my 25 rules for living life and doing business on your own terms. nobullbook.com. They usually write me an email that Leanne or Mark gets and sends to me, and it's about how they've quietly quit. Over the last maybe 5, 10, 20 years before they buy my book, they admit that they've quietly quit. They were a lone wolf. They're in the loneliest business in the world, and it's wore them down that they're smaller, they're not showing up, they're mailing it in as a man, they're phoning it in as a husband, they're doing almost zero marketing, and they've lost their way. Really, they've just lost their way. And then they get my book and they read my 25 rules, and things start to transform. Once again, standing on the shoulders of greats. I'm sharing things that I learned from the all-time greats. I'm sharing things that I've learned in 19 years of coaching pro and amateur hockey. I'm sharing things that I've learned in 31 years in the business trenches. You don't think there's great value in those types of things. It's massive, right? So, good morning. It's just It's just one of these things where the lone wolf doesn't work. So when I subscribe to these newsletters, and I was a member of Bill Glazier's and Dan Kennedy's $30,000 Mastermind, that's when my life took off, because I was no longer, quiet quitting. I was no longer an entrepreneur on an island, and I was no longer, just a lone wolf trying to do it on my own. And that's what my newsletter is all about. The book is great. If you've got the book and you read it, and that's fantastic. It's $30. It's a small investment in yourself, and it gets you started. But what I found, the 11 newsletters that I subscribe to, and that I sit at the dock or sit on the boat or sit out at the pool and study, they are a shot for me mentally that I need every month. By the time they come around, which is now, the 1st of each month, the 15th of each month, the end of each month, whenever they come, their timing is impeccable. I need that I need that mental kick in the pants. And I just have this steady flow of books and newsletters, masterminds, everything that just keeps me sharp. I keep sharpening the axe. I keep sharpening the saw every day, reading 1, 2, 3, even 5 hours a day some days, and just being a serious student of marketing and advertising and business. So standing on the shoulders of greats every day. But my newsletter that I'm writing now is it's the one that I enjoy the most. It's my Badass Rules edition, and it's coming out this month. And the reason I couldn't not tell you about it is it's an extension of my book. My book is 25 rules for living life and doing business on your own terms. But once a year in my newsletter, I'll write some additional rules, some new Michael McLean rules. They're principles, maxims, non-negotiable habits that I have that have allowed me to sell 155 million in products and services and do it with peace of mind. These are rules that I'm writing about in this month's newsletter that have allowed me to build my businesses around my life, not my life around my business. And they've allowed me to continue to show up as an elite man, an elite father, an elite husband, an elite leader. And they've allowed me to gradually become a hero in my own home. Didn't happen overnight. I've had lots of mistakes and missteps. I've shown up, not shown up. I've made good decisions, plenty of bad decisions. But at the end of the day, it's allowed me to become a hero in my own home. My 10-year-old thinks I can fly. That doesn't come from not showing up. That doesn't come from being buried on a cell phone. That comes from 2 words: be there. That comes from 1 word: time. So, are you standing on the shoulders of greats? Are you learning from the best of the best? Are you cutting time, saving yourself time and headaches by learning from the best? Or are you like I used to be, a lone wolf? Man, a lone wolf is a long life. I pride myself on being a top 1% badass. I love that. I wear that. But I don't pride myself on being a lone wolf. I have mentors, I have coaches, I've been part of powerful masterminds. I've done all of that stuff. So it's so critical that you invest in yourself. So this April's newsletter is a great time to start. It's literally $3.24 a day to subscribe to my newsletter. The book tells you what to do. My newsletters tell you how to do it. It's okay, right? You have to learn the what. Okay, these are 25 things. This is what you need to do. But monthly newsletters tell you how to do it. All right, this is how I just did this. This is what I did this month. These are the mistakes I made. These are the lessons I learned. But there's a reason my Badass Rules edition is my most popular monthly newsletter. It just is. And it's the reason I wrote my book about rules, because entrepreneurs hate rules. My book is a book of rules for men that hate rules. I hate rules. You hate rules. We're freedom guys. We're autonomy guys. We're personal sovereignty guys. But when you think about it, if you commit to a handful of non-negotiable rules in your life, that equals freedom. That equals freedom. These aren't rules like, you got to do this, you got to do that. These are rules for winning. For winning. These are rules that a Tom Brady uses, that a Henry Ford would use, that an Andrew Carnegie would use, that a Ronald Reagan would use, like a General Patton would use, a Winston Churchill would use. Are you kidding me? These are championship. These are badass rules. So I put together, it's been a year and a half since I wrote the book. So I put together a new 10 rules, Michael McLean Badass Rules. To subscribe, to join the brotherhood, go to badassletter.com, badassletter.com. It's $3.24 a day. And get around, I keep saying it, get around other elite men. It's okay to read books and walk by yourself and cocoon with your family. That's all great. But damn it, you gotta get around other winners. You gotta get around other people that are doing better than you, that are thinking bigger than you, that are taking more action than you, and that are further ahead down the road than you. Doesn't mean they're better than you, it just means they're further down the road. Why not get around those people? Because they're already doing it, or they've already done it, and they'll share their insider secrets with you. Just like I share my rules, like the great Billy Wagner says it best, do not mistake your beginning for my middle, and don't mistake your middle for my end. Everybody's running their own race. Everybody's at a different point in their life. It's not about comparing yourself to others. In fact, never, ever, ever compare yourself to other people. It is a secret to eternal unhappiness, is to compare yourself to others. Other entrepreneurs, your neighbor, your brother, your sister, none of it. Run your own race. Run your own race. And with these rules, you can run your own race, but you can stand on the shoulders of giants that came before you. You can lose the ID as a lone wolf. It's hard to get out there and walk every day and read every day and market every day and deal with employee issues every day and red tape and bureaucracy and the anti small business owner mentality out there. That's hard. That's hard to protect yourself if you're not around other elite men. And some of my very best friends are all around North America. Like I said, in my own community, I have, a handful of guys, Jeff Dean or Tom Burns, my dad, my brother. But other than that, you got to expand your radius. You got to have friends all over North America, all over the world. Get around other elite men is my message. Drop the lone wolf bullshit and get around other elite men. And that's what my Michael McLean letter does. That's what my newsletter does every month. It allows you to get around other elite men. Other husbands, other fathers, other grandfathers. You're struggling with marketing. That's what I do. That's what I do every day. It allows you to get around it, to smell the leather, to be around it. So That's really for $3.23, 24 cents. Like that's, you spend that on coffee. And if you're not willing to invest that in your children, in your queen, in your business, in yourself, then there's no hope for you. If you're just going to watch videos that make you feel a little bit better, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to show you every month how to do it. And you know the great thing about a newsletter like mine is I always fax it to the guys. I have everybody's fax number or e-fax it to them. And they read it and they study it. And then they get it in the mail. And they read it and study it again. So it's motivating them, it's inspiring them, it's teaching them for the whole month. And then just when you get to the end of the month, I have my Monday night bonus training. It's called a Dog's Breakfast. It's a marketing training where I show all my best marketing that I've used and discovered over the last month. It's called my Dog's Training. It's a question and answer session where you can ask me any question you want, but I'm going to show you the best marketing, advertising, promotions, and other stuff that I've learned that month. Do you know how valuable that 2-hour training is? It's live. I don't record it. And that's one of the bonuses of being part of the tribe. Become a part of a tribe of elite men. I don't care if you don't want to join my tribe, I don't care. It doesn't change my life a bit. Your $97 a month doesn't change my life one bit. I've been in a safe harbor position now for almost a decade. So whether or not you sign up for this is not going to change where I live. It's not going to change the food I eat. It's not going to change the vehicle I drive. It's not going to be the difference in anything I do. Trust me. But I believe so much in world building. I believe so much in the marketing I do, the sales I do. I believe so much in these rules, these badass laws that govern my life, that I want to share them. So that's what the April Michael McLean letter is about. Badass rules, 10 new badass rules. And man, you'll never hear these. You'll never see these. You'll never hear these discussed anywhere else. You can join our tribe at badassletter.com. I'll send you one of these nice badass #badass t-shirts. Leanne will throw one of those in with your April newsletter. You get the online forum too. It's not big tech. It's called our locker room, and it's just for newsletter men. And you can ask questions in there. You can post things. You can get critiques. You can ask me questions. I'm in there a couple times a day. It's not Facebook. It's not big tech. It's our own platform, private platform that only we have. Plus a whole bunch of nice bonuses when you subscribe at badassletter.com. And these t-shirts are awesome. They're like $60 too. They're like a really nice material. I use them every day to train. And on the back it says be relentless. So I'll throw one of those in and you get all the bonuses. Plus you get the paper and ink. This is a paper and ink publication. It's not some goofy go fetch PDF. It's an actual letter. So start standing on the shoulders of other giants. Invest in yourself. You know, it's the greatest gift you can give your wife and your children and your employees and yourself. They don't need that other shit you give them for birthdays and anniversaries and Valentine's Days and Christmas. Where does any of that stuff get us? It gets us nowhere. They need us to invest in ourselves. And the greatest gift I can give my wife, Krista, my daughter, Emery, and my employees, my teammates, is when I invest in myself. Because the better I become, the better everything else is around me. So this is not just a $3.24 investment in you, but it's also investment in the people in your world. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Invest in yourself. The more you pay, the more you'll pay attention as well. Watching free videos and reading free emails is expensive. Free is the new expensive, by the way. Free is the new expensive because you're not financially invested. You don't have any skin in the game other than your personal time, which is finite and precious, but you don't have any money. Even though it's only $3.24 a day, it's skin in the game. It's skin in the game. And it makes you study, and it makes you read, and it makes you take action. Free is the new expensive. People send me books. I'm like, no, I want to pay for it. I will not take a free book. I will not take a free newsletter. I will not take a free training from anybody, because I realize I won't value it. I don't value free, and I won't use it. So when somebody says, Michael, I want to send you my new book, I want to send you my newsletter, I'm like, how much is it? I'll buy it. I'll invest in it. And they'll say, no, I'm going to send it to you. I'm like, no, I pay for Doberman Dan's newsletter. He's my pal, but I pay, and he pays for mine. We want to be invested. We want free is the new expensive. Free is the new expensive. All these mentors are my friends. Like, I pay for Matt Fury's newsletter because free is the new expensive. I don't want him sending me stuff for free. I want to be invested. I want to have skin in the game. The more I pay, the more I'll pay attention. The more you pay, the more you'll pay attention. So that little $3.25 a day, whatever it is, it's more than you think. It's not just pocket change. It's also it's skin in the game. It's skin in the game. Badassletter.com. If you hate any of this stuff, then and you don't like the online stuff, just email Leanne at badassmillionaire.com below, and she will sign you up. Use the subject line badass newsletter, and stop being a lone wolf. Man, I used to think that was the coolest thing in the world until I realized I was learning my mistakes over and over again. And stop being a lonely man on your own island. You just end up lonely and frustrated and bitter. Get around other elite men. Get around other top 1%ers. Get around other guys that are winning in certain areas in their life. And if you're not showing up like you should be, if you're quietly quitting, well then subscribe to the newsletter and get around other winners. They'll drag you across the fucking goal line. And if they don't, I will. Because winners aren't losers and losers aren't winners. But I'll tell you right now, there's nothing as powerful as association, and there's nothing as powerful as environment. And once again, a newsletter subscription does that. You're reading about other people. You're in the locker room. You're on trainings. That's association. You end up texting each other and emailing and critiquing. It's a tribe. Do you know, as men, we're hardwired to be tribe members. We're hardwired to be brothers. And in 2023, what's the thing elite men need more than other? They need to be around more elite men. Because you're a target now. You're a target like me. Oh, men, they should be ashamed of themselves and look, shrink your life and be embarrassed and all this. I'm like, are you kidding me? We need to stand up and stand out like never before. But you can't do that if you're not around your tribe. You need to pick a tribe as a man. You need to pick a brotherhood. I'd be nothing without a tribe or a brotherhood. Because then I would just be in this swamp of shrink your life, live small, be ashamed of your success, all this anti-achievement, anti-winning rhetoric that's around us. We're hardwired. You're hardwired to be around other elite men. You're hardwired to be part of a brotherhood. And you're hardwired to be part of a tribe. Well, guess what? My newsletter is a tribe. My newsletter is a brotherhood. And for $3.25 a day to be part of a tribe, a brotherhood, my God, if you can't invest that in yourself, really, you got to have a conversation and say, what am I doing? Like if you can't invest $3.25 in being part of a brotherhood that's going to help you become unfuckwithable, invincible, just unfuckwithable. You're going to become a hero in your own story. You're going to become the hero in your own family. If you're not willing to invest $3.25 a day in that, then sell your business. Pack it up. You're just lying to yourself. You're just lying to yourself that you want to show up. You're just lying to yourself that you want to get in better physical and mental shape. You're just bullshitting yourself that you want to do marketing and learn how to copyright. If you were serious, you'd be investing $3.25 a day. You're no more honest or authentic than the hobo on the train who says he'd like to win or he'd like to be successful. You're no more authentic or honest than the homeless guy who's got the sign out begging for change for alcohol research. Like those guys are fucking liars, right? They've lied every day of their life in the mirror. I can't, it's not my fault, I'm a victim, all this. Well, it's no different. If you're not going to invest $3.25 into yourself, into your tribe, into your brotherhood, into your marriage, into your family, into your business, well, you know what? Quit. Don't quietly quit, just pack it in. Because being a lone wolf is losing. I know. When I was a lone wolf, all I was doing was losing. Frustration, anger, all of it. So badassletter.com. And you know what? After the first month, if you don't like it, you hate it, Michael, this is BS, it's not what you said, cancel. We'll never see each other again. Okay, I don't cater to quitters. I have a no coming back policy, but I do have a warranty. So if you can cancel at any time. Take the shirt, take the newsletter, and then after the first month, if you don't love it, if it's not everything, just email Leanne, tell her you're not happy with it, boom, you're done. We'll never charge you again. Simple as that. So you have zero risk. Badassletter.com. Badassletter.com. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, sign up for my April Badass Rules Edition. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, sign up for my Badass Rules Edition at badassletter.com. Man, the entrepreneurial lonely island is the worst, and quietly quitting is shameful. Make sure if you're in any of those arenas or you're the lone wolf, that you change that you say, okay, you know what, I haven't been showing up like I should be. I haven't been, showing up as the elite man I need to be. Well, then let's change that together. But you change that by, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Who are you spending time with in terms of your business? Who are the 5 marketers you're spending time with? Who are the 5 businessmen you're spending the most time with? And once you get around a tribe like my brotherhood, and you're around hundreds and hundreds of elite men, husbands, fathers, grandfathers, community service guys, well, guess what? That's immersion into winning. All of a sudden, you're immersed around elite men. And what's the most contagious thing in the world is a positive example, right? So you're in the right environment and you're around the right people. And all of a sudden, things start to work for you. Things start to get better. You start to feel better about the man in the mirror. Total immersion. Get in the tribe. Get in a brotherhood. You're hardwired to be around other elite men. So do it. Get around other elite men. Badassletter.com. That's it for today. Good morning. I was looking at that guy's shirt, Chicago Blackhawks, man. Total rebuild. I talked to a Blackhawks fan the other day and he's like, the team sucks and all this. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, you had 20 years of unprecedented winning with the Blackhawks in Chicago. I said, you had Patrick Kane, you had Jonathan Toews, you had Duncan Keith, and you had two Stanley Cups, which is next to impossible. And I said, now Father Time is undefeated. Those guys are done. They're too old. And now it's time to rebuild through the draft, and you've bottomed out. My friend Luke Richardson is the head coach in Chicago. He's from Ottawa. Fantastic guy. And he's going to build that into a championship team over the next 5 years if they give him the chance. And man, like, just talk about a tough business, pro sport. Everybody wants the sunshine. Everybody wants to drink the wine, but nobody wants to pick the grapes. Nobody wants to pick the grapes. So anyway, that's it for today. Lots more stories to come. My 10 badass rules coming this April. Subscribe at badassletter.com. That's it. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll change your life. Be relentless.